Hello again everyone, welcome back to another episode of Landric Plays Darkest Dungeon. Last episode we defeated the Sonorous Prophet, and I got a little bit greedy and almost killed our occultist, but luckily he made it back in one piece. We've made it back, and a whole bunch of our other heroes have recovered from a raucous night out on the town. Buzz Noir's developed a new quirk, but that should be fine to manage. Let's take a look at the embark screen first, actually, because we've still got these two bosses kicking around, but we don't really have anyone who's suitable to take them on. We only have three adventurers that are even capable of it, and I don't really want to send our Antiquarian to defeat bosses because the Antiquarian is super weak. Useful for gathering lots of gold, but actually not useful for a lot else. So I think what we need to do is check the stagecoach, because we upgraded it, and I was hoping we'd have some experienced recruits who'd be above level 0. But 'tis not to be, so I think we grab a couple of them and then wait a week and see who else we get. So we don't have a leper. We could grab one just to see what they're like. I don't actually remember what skills they've got. I think, yeah, they're sort of fairly heavy sort of melee class, a little bit like a crusader. And they've got some sort of buffs. Yeah, interesting. We could try them out. They also have something to bypass stealth, so that could be quite useful. Hey, do we have... Interesting. There's a jester also called Cumbliz. Well, there you go. So I was gonna say, who should we bring with us? I do kind of want the jester, but also that'll get confusing. We'll do it anyway. We'll go for the jester and the...
He will be laughing
leper.
still at the end.
And then I guess we could send these out on a sort of a run by themselves, or we could send out some of our more experienced folk. Do a veteran level 1 perhaps. Let's take a look and see what we've got. So we could do this one, or this one. This one gives Caregiver's Convention. I don't remember what that does. I think it boosts the sanatorium for a bit. Possibly, we'll see. Ideally we want to sort of start training these guys up as soon as possible, but then again we don't really want to overtrain them. So we could take, say, you... What position do you prefer? You actually prefer position 1. You are perfectly fine in position 2 actually, so let's swap you two around. And then where are you? Do we want to unlock anything else? I think we'll just send you out with these sort of base skills just to see how you get on. I guess we'll bring along the Antiquarian then and sort of just make this a money-making quest. And we can send Columbia's to Columbia harder. In fact, I tell you what, let's rename this hero. What do we want to call this jester? Let's call him Giggles. There we go. That's a suitably terrifying name for this very scary clown. Uses per battle 1. Finale. So it moves you right to the back, does a whole bunch of extra damage, and it gives you much less dodge, but it does move you to the back. Interesting. So I've never really used this. So we can dirk stab our way to the front and then move you right to the back, perhaps. Nah, that feels a bit too I'm sure it has its uses, but it's so situational that I guarantee I'm going to misuse it. So I think if we do bring you along, we are going to flip over some of your skills just a little bit. So Solo would give us a buff. Okay, it gives Finale a buff, so yeah, I think we'll unlock these two instead. And then we'll make sure to swap those around, so we'll get rid of Dirk Stab and Finale, and then we'll unlock these two, so you'll be sort of slightly more utility, but a fair bit of damage with your blood-curdling sickle. And I guess while we're in the guild we might as well check out Ahard's other skills, so Chop seems a fairly useful one to have. Hew seems also a fairly one to have. Purge is knockback and clears corpses, which could be quite useful, particularly as Devereaux will struggle to target things in the back if the front is blocked with corpses. It actually does a little bit of damage as well. The knockback's interesting. Revenge, extra damage at the expense of a debuff. Withstand marks you and gives you protection and a little bit of stress relief. Solemnity? It's a strange word to say. Heals you a little bit and gives you some resistances. And Intimidate, yeah, it gives us the de-stealth and the marks target and a debuff. So I have a feeling, like most characters, I'm going to sort of ignore all of the debuffy situational things and just stick with the damage, which eventually will get me killed. But until then it will be just fine. So I'll pop you there, which means we want to do one of these green quests. And I'm pretty... okay, I was going to say we want to go somewhere where they're slightly more resistant to... slightly less resistant to bleed, rather, but I think both of them actually aren't great for that. So I think I'll go for the shorter, easier quest, just because Antiquarian is not not exactly a damage-dealing machine, and we don't have a huge amount of healing. But it'll give these guys a little bit of extra experience, which means we can sort of face them towards one of these bosses. Before we go, let's do a quick... in fact, before you do anything else, let's give these guys some time off. And before I absolutely forget, we'll give you this trinket. So I think we'll give you that. In fact, I think I'll keep the damage stone on you, because this is mostly stress relief, and then we can give this to somebody else. We can give you the bloodstone, just because you're quite good at bleeding people. Don't need to give you that, don't need to give you that. What do we want to give you? Dodge. Yeah, you can hang on to the dodge stuff. Fortifying garlic. I guess you're relatively tanky, and you actually have a Book of Sanity as well. I think we'll give you the protection stone, and oh, that's right, you actually can use these things. Interesting. 5 crit, bonus speed, bonus less virtue chance, and less healing. But we could pair it with this to sort of offset some of that. So let's give that a go. Oh, in fact, actually we've got this Crusader only. Extra virtue chance, less strength, extra death blow resist, but slightly less blight and bleed resist. So that will pair very nicely with that, actually. Let's do that. Excellent. Interesting set of traits you got there, Devereaux. Okay, and then absolutely before I forget, you have to go get some intense craving for alcohol. You're not allowed to visit the brothel. Interesting. I wonder why. I guess if you have an intense craving for alcohol, we'll put you here, and hope that doesn't backfire on us. The rest of you are actually alright. You don't have that much stress at all. Yeah, you've probably got enough that I will put you in. You can go to the meditation hall, or you could, except you're still there. You can go into the transept, though I imagine the higher power that you're going to be praying to is not the one that Abbott would prefer. And then we'll just do a quick run through, see if there's anything we can unlock. No, you take 1,000,000 crest still. Ah, we can unlock this. And again, I should have done this before. Oh, well. Better late than never.
Strong drink, a game of chance and companionship, the rush of life.
And everything else. Could upgrade you, but I never really buy trinkets. I think they'll be more and more valuable as we get to much higher levels of the dungeon and we get some really, really powerful trinkets, but for now I think we'll be okay with that one. Oh, graveyard, yeah. Can't upgrade that. Would rather we didn't have to. Poor Drew. Oh, right. Onwards. On with the quest. So let's see. We've got our team. We've got the ruins. It's almost 10 minutes into the video and we've still not actually gotten moving, so let's get a move on. So it's a short quest. I think I'll settle for just 12 food. We're going to try and play this one relatively light. bring a couple of keys and a shovel just in case. And I think we'll leave it at that. Let's go. So yeah, this is mostly going to be, I think, a sort of treasure scrounging mission with the added benefit of getting a little bit of XP for some of our lower level adventurers. Hopefully we don't give them too much XP.
Pace out the halls of your lineage once familiar, now foreign.
Because we're running out of people to do these bosses. Let's see, an Iron Maiden. So we can't use the holy water on it. I think we'd need to use bandages or something to protect our hands as we poked at those rusty spikes. But we'll have to leave it be for now. Speaking of rusty spikes...
Curious is the trap maker's art. His efficacy unwitnessed by his own eyes.
Okay, first fight, and we get a surprise, so that's quite lucky. We get to try out Ayard's moves, so this will do 8 to 60. Wow, so this is, if this hits, this is a guaranteed kill. And this is, could well be a kill here. What we could do is this, because this will still probably kill this guy, and will also do a fair amount of damage to this guy.
Impressive.
So not perfect, but it'll do, and then I can use Harvest to double up on damage over here.
Falls, a faint hope blossoms.
You, with your extremely weak damage, can hopefully at least take that guy out.
The enemy crumbles.
And then you're sort of stuck because you can't get past these corpses. Okay, so you two are going to start piling up stress on everyone else. And you go again straight away. Ah, knife in the dark. I guess you're far forward enough that you sort of went for a desperate stab rather than the your normal tempting goblet. You get pulled right to the front, which makes you useless. But you've got enough, I guess it's speed, that you can jump straight back there, and then you can get rid of you straight away. Yeah, this feels like a very, very powerful character. At least in terms of those two sort of physical attacks. Unfortunately, you're reduced to hitting corpses again, which is a bit of a shame. Luckily, you're going to be susceptible to the Jester's Bleed as well, which is nice. Let's see. So we'll go with just a single target one. So we get a crit and hopefully a bleed. Lovely. So you're doomed, so we might as well go for... you don't have a heal. So buff everyone. I don't know how long it lasts for, whether it's just a round. Yeah, just a couple of rounds. Nope, dodged. Never mind. Devo gets the killing blow. What's this? Snake oil. Minus 10% strength. I guess it's a bit of a placebo. So we'll get that. And we'll try and push open this sarcophagus. It's empty. Bit of a shame, but oh well. We'll come down here, and then I guess we'll loop back around this way. Okay. Oop, box. What's in the box? Heirlooms are in the box. Not many, but enough. Okay, so we've got a battle, but then an empty room, so we get a little bit of respite. Oh, and it's only a couple of spiders, so this should be... Oh, and they're surprised. Even better. So if we don't take these both out in one turn, I'm going to be very, very disappointed.
Another abomination cleansed from our lands.
You can buff everyone just because.
A time to perform beyond
one's
limits.
So we're accruing these little antiquarians trinkets. Or, I don't know, minor antiques. So we get a little bit of extra treasure because they're worth quite a lot of gold. They're fairly common and they stack really nicely. But you only get them when the antiquarian's in your party. I guess we'll nip to this one and double back.
Even the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
So, yeah, we're almost halfway through our torches. But I guess we're about halfway through the dungeon. This room's empty, so I guess that counts as a free scout. But a battle has spawned behind us, which is a bit annoying.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
no surprise this time, so they are probably going to act before us. Wow, you've piled on a lot of stress already, actually. Not a lot of point doing this, because this will only do a tiny bit of damage. In fact, this doesn't do a lot more. Oh well. So this 3% dodge actually could be quite useful in this fight. Didn't dodge quite well enough though. Luckily you do bonus damage to Unholy, which is nice. You can do this. Miss. That's unfortunate. Let's keep stacking up damage on you. This guy at the back is the one that's going to do the most damage. I wonder if... there we go, you do 1 point of damage to start with, and if the blight happens, then that kills you on your turn. Perfect.
Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
See if you can hit him this turn. In fact, I tell you what, I'm going to do a Hue, because this should probably kill this guy, and hopefully clear the scopes.
Back to the pit.
Not quite. Oh. And then you can start slicing off him.
A devastating blow.
Crit's useful. Of course he resists the bleed, but that's because he doesn't have any blood, so it wouldn't really make sense. And then you finally get to do some damage there.
Give them no quarter.
Nice. We get a whole bunch of trinkets there. So we're back here. Move straight up this way, and then I think we'll probably be able to miss this room out if we want to. Ooh, another box. What's in this box? Nothing at all. Ooh, spikes. Spikes are in the box.
Mechanical hazards, possessed by evil intent.
You're taking a fair bit of damage, so let's give you a full meal. It'll stop us hopefully getting caught by surprise, and it's empty as well. And we got a hunger event as well, so we've got one left just in case. Or one full meal rather. 4 food, 1 meal. And another empty room. This is turning out to be a little bit of an uneventful dungeon. So I think we'll push on. We may even do the next room as well. We'll see what state we're in. More food, more gold. We're definitely accruing a lot of stuff, but still not as many heirlooms as I'd like. Oh, there we go. This one's empty as well. We might as well push on then. Even if there's a fight, I think we can comfortably handle it, and hopefully there's some treasure on the way. Ah, that's a bit annoying. That's unhelpful, to say the least. Because now we're going to have to spend a lot of time rearranging our party while they sort of wail on us unabated. You're actually in the position I want you to be in. But we're still going to have to do a little bit of the swapping route to get the leper in front of you. That said, you can actually do some damage from there, so I think it's worth trying to kill this guy. So he's definitely doomed, but it's a case of how many attacks will he get in before then, so it's probably worth doing another attack if we can. So now we have to move you here, which means we have to move the antiquarian back, because, yeah. It was worth a try. Oh, luckily you can move too as well though, so you're both in the right place now, which is good. I think we'll swap you around as well, just to try and do a little bit of extra damage. And hopefully we can clear you guys out before you do too much more damage. So I'm much less concerned about losing these guys because this is their first adventure, so you know, fair. Speaking of which, that jester is getting awfully low. Come on, the one we renamed specially, he can't die. Let's go for it.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
So you can't do anything if I swap you there. Unideal. In fact, I actually will pass. So you'll take a little bit of stress, but it means you can move 2 back to where you need to be. Again, waste a couple of turns. It's a bit annoying, but hopefully this puts you in a good position to finish them off. Or maybe not. Let's try that again. You resist the bleed, but you are getting quite low on health, and I think we'll probably finish you off before you get to move again, if we're lucky. There we go. Finally. And we get some
Seize this
some
momentum.
gems, some more antiques.
Push on
a
to the
shovel.
task's end.
I think we'll ignore the books and push straight on. Hopefully there's not a fight in here, or it could be a little bit still. Oh, of course there is. But this time they're surprised, so I feel a lot better about this. Let's go for the Hue. Again, bit of a shame, but our Crusader hopefully can use his Zealous accusation, is it?
Continue the onslaught.
Just attack this guy, that works too.
Destroy them all.
Might even be worth using it, because if it hits, it definitely kills him, and will hopefully clear the corpse.
Executed with impunity.
Perfect. So you two will deal a little bit of stress damage, but as long as it's not on Giggles, we're probably fine. And of course it's on Giggles. Still probably fine. That was lucky. Chop you. And again, that's going to leave 2 corpses and prevent our Crusader from actually doing anything. This doesn't clear corpses, does it? No. Only removes stealth. I guess we'll actually use the buff. Try and make good use of that. Damn. Another dodge. And then, yeah. Good. Clear that corpse. Brings you closer. And then you can chop them. Or you can try and chop them. They seem to be getting quite a lot of fairly lucky dodges. Oh no, not more movement abilities. Okay, good, we dodged that one. There we go. Finally. Whew, that gives us a fair amount of gold,
victory,
and there's a chest that we can
but a
rummage through.
victory nonetheless.
Ooh, some more gems. Some more. Ooh. Well, I guess we can throw away the key because we're probably not going to need that. Actually, we can get rid of the holy water because it's worth slightly less. There we go. So, yep, completely explored. Let's get out of here. Whew, okay, so that was a slightly tougher fight than I was hoping, but hopefully it gives everyone a little bit of experience.
Ancestry are beginning to feel familiar.
Interesting. So we can give you this redemption armor as well. Slightly less virtue chance, but extra damage if you're in position 1, which is where I think you're going to be. A little bit of gold for selling off all of this stuff, and a couple of heirlooms as well. You've got a quirk. What's it going to be? Oh, everyone's level 1 now at least. Nice. Beast Slayer. Good. Positive quirk. Should be hopefully quite useful. And on that note, thank you very much for watching, and see you again at the next episode.